Ever get that feeling? Like you're just going through the motions, like, I don't know, staring down a mountain of laundry.
Uh-huh.
And it just feels, so heavy.
Yeah.
A total drag. But then maybe you remember a time doing that exact same thing,
Right.
folding laundry, whatever it is, but it felt, I don't know, almost peaceful.
Yeah.
Like you were really in the zone, totally present. That's kind of what we're digging into today.
I love that. It's that shift in how we experience things.
Right. Even the ordinary stuff.
And especially in this age of AI,
Oh, yeah. That's a huge part of it.
it makes you think, what really makes us human?
Exactly.
What sets us apart?
So you sent over some really fascinating stuff about this idea of playing in freedom.
I did. It's a rich topic, touching on philosophy, psychology, even spiritual teachings.
It's really about how we engage with the world, isn't it?
Yeah, and how that connects to our sense of freedom and joy.
Especially when we compare ourselves to AI.
Exactly, what AI can and can't do.
So that's our deep dive today, this whole concept of playing in freedom. We're going to be looking at some pretty big thinkers, starting with Heidegger.
Heidegger.
Then we'll move on to Csikszentmihalyi and his flow state.
Love Csikszentmihalyi.
Then there's Sadhguru's perspective on play as a spiritual practice.
That's a fascinating one.
And finally, we'll touch on Eckhart Tolle and the power of presence.
A lot to unpack there.
Definitely. We'll also look at how all of this fits in with the rise of AI.
And what it means for us humans.
Oh, and there's a cool real-world example of finding playfulness in work.
Right. Can't forget that.
So as we go through all this, the big question we're exploring is, can we actually find more freedom and meaning in our lives by being more playful?
Especially in a world increasingly shaped by AI. What does that even look like?
Right, what does that mean for us? Okay, so Heidegger.
Okay, Heidegger.
Now, I'll be honest, when I hear Heidegger, my brain kind of shuts down a little.
I get it. Philosophy can be intimidating.
But you highlighted this concept from him, Seinsvergessenheit.
Yes.
Forgetfulness of being.
Right. Now, how can we explain that in a way that makes sense, for everyday life?
Exactly, because it sounds pretty abstract.
Basically, Heidegger thought we get so caught up in the daily grind.
The to-do lists, the worries.
All of that,
Mm-hmm.
that we lose touch with just,
Being
being
present in the moment.
right here, right now. And the interesting thing is, this isn't some esoteric idea. It actually affects us in very real ways.
You mean like we're not as happy?
It can be that, yeah. It's like we're always somewhere else in our heads,
Worrying about the future, dwelling on the past.
and we miss out on the richness of the present moment.
So our busyness, all that rushing around, it actually prevents us from fully experiencing life.
It can, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we're constantly distracted from our own existence.
Now, here's where it gets interesting for me.
Uh-huh.
Heidegger, this deep philosophical mind, had this surprising way to escape all the academic pressure.
Oh,
Skiing.
skiing.
Yeah, he'd hit the slopes in the Black Forest.
Wow. I mean, it makes sense in a way.
How so?
Well, think about it. When you're skiing, you're totally immersed.
In the moment, yeah.
The feel of the snow,
Yeah.
the wind, the movement of your body.
It demands your full attention.
Right. There's no room for all those thoughts and worries.
It's like a moving meditation almost.
In a way, yeah.
So Heidegger wasn't just like getting exercise. This was deeper for him.
Right. It was about reconnecting with sane.
Being here, just being, without all the mental baggage.
No past, no future, just the present moment.
And that's what play was for him, a way to get back to that pure state of being.
And that freedom that comes with it.
Freedom from our own minds, almost.
Exactly. Play, for Heidegger, was about totally letting go.
Not trying to achieve anything, just experiencing.
And that's what makes it so liberating.
So we've got Heidegger finding freedom in skiing.
Right.
Now, let's shift gears a little to Csikszentmihalyi
Okay, Csikszentmihalyi.
and his concept of flow. This seems to echo some of what Heidegger was talking about, but from a psychological angle.
It does. Csikszentmihalyi was a psychologist.
So how would you describe this flow state?
It's that feeling of total absorption in what you're doing, like you're completely in the zone.
I think we've all felt that at some point.
Yeah, it's when the challenge of an activity matches your skill level perfectly. Not too easy, not too hard.
So you're fully engaged, but not overwhelmed.
Exactly. Think about a musician lost in their music.
Or an athlete performing at their peak.
Even someone completely focused on, like, folding laundry, if they're really in the rhythm of it.
And this is something we can cultivate, right?
Absolutely. The key is finding those activities that challenge you just enough, that sweet spot where you can really stretch your skills.
So it's not about finding something easy and mindless.
No, it's about finding that balance between challenge and skill.
And what happens when you're in flow? What does it feel like?
Oh, it's an incredible feeling.
I bet.
You lose yourself in the activity. But paradoxically, you feel more alive.
More present.
Exactly. And time seems to distort. It can either fly by or slow down.
That's so true.
And that inner critic, that voice of your head, it just quiets down.
Like there's no room for self-doubt.
Right, you're just completely absorbed in the moment.
And that ties back to Heidegger, doesn't it?
Totally. It's that same forgetfulness of being, that being in the now. Whether you're skiing down a mountain or, folding laundry with complete focus.
It's about finding that presence in whatever you're doing.
And that's where the freedom lies.
So we've got this theme emerging, this idea that being present is key to experiencing freedom.
It's a powerful idea.
And now let's bring in Sadhguru and his spiritual perspective.
Sadhguru.
He takes this playfulness concept even further, seeing it as a spiritual practice.
It's not just about having fun for him.
So how does he view play?
What's so fascinating about Sadhguru's view is that he sees play as a way to break free from our own limitations.
The limitations we impose on ourselves.
Exactly. All those expectations and anxieties we carry around.
So it's about letting go of that seriousness.
Precisely. He says, and this is a powerful quote, "If you play with absolute involvement, there is no suffering."
Wow. If you play with absolute involvement, there is no suffering.
Think about when you're truly engrossed in play. Are you worried about failing?
No, not really.
About what others think?
Not at all.
You're just completely present in the activity itself.
And that's where the spiritual dimension comes in.
That's what Sadhguru is pointing to. It's about that complete engagement without attachment to the outcome.
So it's not about winning or losing, it's about how you play the game.
Exactly. And that mindset, that playful presence, can be applied to anything we do.
Even folding laundry.
Even folding laundry.
Okay, so now let's bring in the AI piece.
Okay, AI.
We're seeing these incredible advancements in artificial intelligence. I mean, things like ChatGPT 4.5 can hold conversations that feel so human.
It's amazing, isn't it?
But there's something crucial that AI still lacks, even with all its abilities.
And that's consciousness.
Consciousness.
Yeah, true, genuine presence, that deep level of subjective experience that we have.
And that's what underpins this whole playing in freedom thing.
Exactly. AI can simulate, it can process information, but it doesn't have that same inner world that we do.
So it can't truly play in the same way we can.
Right. It can mimic actions, but it doesn't experience the joy, the freedom, the being in the moment.
And this is where Eckhart Tolle comes in.
Eckhart Tolle.
His emphasis on deep presence as the source of true freedom.
Yes, Tolle believes that freedom comes from being completely present in the now.
That deep connection to the present moment.
Right. Beyond thinking, beyond analyzing, just being.
And AI can't do that.
No, because AI is fundamentally different. It operates on algorithms, data, programming.
It's not experiencing the world in the same way we are.
It's processing information, not having a lived experience.
So even if AI could be programmed to act playfully, it wouldn't be coming from that same place of genuine presence.
Exactly. The joy we experience in play, that comes from our conscious awareness of being alive in that moment.
AI doesn't have that same awareness.
No, it's driven by its programming, its goals.
It can't truly be present in the way we can.
And therefore, it can't really play in the same way.
Which really highlights what makes us human.
Absolutely. It's not just about what we do, but how we experience it.
Our inner world. Our consciousness.
That's what makes us unique.
Now, speaking of playfulness, you mentioned this great example.
Oh, yeah.
This executive who described his super demanding job as playing Tetris every day.
Right.
Can you tell us more about that?
This guy, he was running an internet firm. Huge pressure, long hours, you know the drill.
I can imagine.
But he chose to see his work as a game, like Tetris.
So instead of being overwhelmed by the demands, he found a way to play with them.
Exactly. It's about shifting your perspective, reframing the experience.
And that changed everything for him.
He was no longer just working, he was playing.
He brought that sense of flow, the Heideggerian being here, into his work.
And that's something we can all learn from?
Absolutely. It makes you think about all the things we approach with dread, with a sense of obligation.
And how maybe we can find a way to play with them.
To shift our perspective, to be more present.
And ultimately to experience more freedom and joy.
So to bring it all back, this Human capacity for genuine play rooted in presence and detachment.
That's what sets us apart.
From even the most advanced machines.
Heidegger, Csikszentmihalyi, Sadhguru, Tolle, they all point to this in their own ways.
True freedom is not about what we achieve.
It's about how we experience life moment to moment.
With presence, with playfulness.
So the next time you're faced with that pile of laundry, try to see it differently.
Forget the clock, forget the pressure.
Just be there, fully present, and fold.
And maybe, just maybe, you'll rediscover a bit of that playful joy.
The joy of being human.
And as we move deeper into this age of AI, I think it's a question worth pondering. How can we cultivate that playful presence in our lives?
Not just to find more freedom, but to understand what it truly means to be human.
What are your own experiences of playing in freedom? I think we'd all love to hear your thoughts.